folks. For the OGs that did a dime, came back around on parole.
For the homegirls with the scrap game.
Lil' homies that gang bang, from Pelican Bay to YA. Rearrange your mind frame. Yeah, I know what you been through. Shit you had to go tend to. Your mama gave birth on the turf. I
was the founder. I created Conan Pocket in my mother's garage.
I had a lot of, lifting weights, and I was on swole. They start calling me Big Miz.
Kev Mac video. You know, this is for sure. Kev Mac video. Open your soul.
This is the beginning.
I always hear people talk about Ice-T. And to me, Ice-T was a legend because when we was at Crenshaw, Ice-T used to come up to Crenshaw. We was young dudes, and when Ice-T used to come up there, he had the Porsche then, he was getting money, the perm, it was fly, and nigga used to have a big ass jewelry, big ass gold chain, maybe has, I don't know if he had diamonds in it or not.
And no one tried to rob us?
Ice-T? Maybe them older dudes. Maybe them, I don't know. To me, he was going to be Ice-T. You know what I mean? And he was a couple years older than me. I definitely wasn't, I never was going to, try to rob him or nothing, but.
Yeah, he was like 8 years older than Charles.
Yeah, he was. I'm trying to tell you, I didn't look up to him as we didn't look up to him as like a gangbanger. But when we was trying to call ourselves being players, and we used to hear about homies doing licks, you're young and you keep your ear to the ground and hear about different licks. Like we used to hear about homies breaking in on the supermarket, Ralph's supermarket from the ceiling. And we used to hear about homies robbing the post office because that's where all the money was. It used to be more money in the post office than it was in the banks. And we used to hear about homies, hitting jewelry licks. And you young dudes, you trying to aspire to become criminals. You just growing up young, hearing how these old dudes was getting these licks and doing these licks. I remember when some of our big homies in the hill, Pinky and them, and all them was doing licks. We didn't know them dudes. We didn't know none of them old dudes. We just heard stories of what they may have been doing or what was going on. You know what I mean? And as young dudes in the area, you hear about them things. So you go out and do the shit that you heard and do it on the level that you can do it on.
So when you hear Ice-T nowadays talk about jewelry licks and all that, that's what he was known for back then?
Man, he was definitely known about that, real talk. And I mean, I didn't follow his style into the pimping and all that, but I'd be hard pressed to say anything. I couldn't say nothing but good about T because we looked up to him. And he was the first one. He continued to impress. I would say that because then I'm going in and out of jail. Then you come home and you see, damn, he in a movie. You know what I'm saying? Then he damn near did what became our theme song for the '60s. It was 6 in the morning, police at my door, funky, fresh Adidas, Cruiser got the bathroom flow, and then he had a song about BJ. And, BJ had the sack, I can't remember what it was. But this is shit that we was like, damn, the homie is on, you know what I mean? And to me, I always hear people say, where was he from? What set he was from and all that. I just claimed him as the nigga from the West because it was nobody on the West winning when Ice-T was doing it. It was only East Coast niggas that was in music. And then he flipped the script on a whole nother level and came with Colors. And when he came with Colors, it was like, damn. In my mind, keep doing it. And he was just raising the bar, man. Then I remember when I was I got out, I don't know where I got out of jail from. Probably was in jail for a couple of months. And he had the album cover with him on the front and his wife with the 12 gauge in the back. I used to look at that for more reasons than just the music. But I mean, it's just that dude always stayed a step above, and he always stayed raising the bar. You know what I mean? And
have you came across him since your success?
When I first came home, it was weird, and then as of late, we we linked up and we talked. We supposed to be doing a project together, but I don't think he ever knew how I looked at him. You know what I mean? Like, you know how people can think that you think of them a certain way, but I don't think he ever knew as a kid, younger, being, well, we get to high school in the 10th grade, he probably, what, 14, 15? I don't think he even knew how much influence he had on how I thought and how our crew moved and how we thought. You know what I mean?
And let me ask you about Bruce one more time. Bruce Richardson.
Bruce Richardson, to me, was a dope boy. He's one of the most successful dope boys in the game at that time, like in that era. We went to high school together, and Bruce was a year or 2 years older than me. So when I was at Crenshaw in the 10th grade, Bruce would have been in the 11th or 12th. I'm not all the way sure, because I know it was Bruce Richardson, Henry Hawkins, Albert Bell. I can't remember who all was there, because me and John Williams was in the same grade. John Williams was a basketball superstar, and we was all going there. And I never forget it, because I know Twinkie had got killed maybe a year before that, maybe 2 years before that, and it was like the anniversary of Twinkie's passing, and the A-Tray Gangsters had ran in the arcade. It used to be an arcade on 11th Avenue and 54th, and that's the arcade we used to be in. And I'll never forget it, because they ran in there and cornered the homies. We had just walked out, and we walking down the street, and we see these cars pull up, and we see a bunch of dudes jumping out, and they got the 83 jerseys on, and they got rags. They don't go and do no popping, because I guess they was looking at us like the homies was youngsters. And we trying to run back. Fast they got in there, whooped on the homies, and came out of there, because Bruce Richardson was playing basketball, and they was in like the crew in front of us, and we, you know, how we coming out of the arcade, and we all walking towards the school, and then when it happened, everybody started running back. But we looking at them old niggas. Them niggas was like, we was like tripping, like after it was over, like them niggas was grown. Like they had beards and all this, but then it was like the whole school was all on one accord. And I was walking with this little girl I was going with at the time, and that was Stacy. And we get back to the school, and I want to say maybe 3-4 days after that incident, because that's how I put the incident together. Me and Bruce, I'm sitting on the thing, and Bruce coming to me and he like talking to me. But what's funny is we used to be in front of the basketball court. In front of the basketball court, it used to be like trees that was growing on this wall. And I'm sitting on the wall, and it's everybody, like me, Slim. I want to say it was probably me, Slim, Benzo. I know my big cousin Capone, and William was all out there. We was right there talking. And Bruce walked up, and he like, man, yeah, man, woo, and he talking about the chick. But I ain't really tripping off what he's saying. Then he just fired on me. While I'm sitting on the wall, and I fall back in the bushes, and I get to kick, and I kick my way out the bushes. But by the time I get to kick my way out the bushes, my cousin and them, they're rusting. Woo! So now we go to work, and now we ended up whooping the basketball team and the football team and the basketball team, because he was hella popular at the school. But he was like, I want to say he was 2 grades older than me, because I was in the 10th. He was in the 11th. So we ended up getting into it with the whole
basketball and football team came to his aid?
Came to his aid, because he was like the scorekeeper or something. He used to keep the score, or he was like I don't know what the fuck they was doing at school, but they would keep he would keep the score, and he wasn't on the team, to my knowledge, but he was always moving around.
So basically, this is Big U's first L.
No, it wasn't an L, because when we came out the bushes, we whooped everybody's ass, and I caught him around at the dean's office and whooped that ass out. No, I never had an L. I'm sorry.
They say Bruce knew that shit.
Nah, Bruce. You gotta remember, Bruce studied under us. Bruce studied with us at BKF. He studied under us from BKF. He took it from Ray. Bruce was I was already a black belt. Bruce was, I think, a green belt. I think Bruce was a green belt. And I probably outweighed Bruce by at least 20, 30 pounds.
Oh, so y'all practiced this shit underneath the same roof?
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to tell you. We studied, he studied somewhere else first, then he came to us. So he studied under a whole nother system, and then after high school, he came to us.
So look, Bruce was known as a baller in LA. Was he having money at high school, or this was after?
No, he wasn't having no money in high school. We was having the money in high school. We was boosters, but we was snatching though. It was different. You know, we called ourselves imitating the older guys. When they was snatching and bashing on the jewelry stores, we was snatching clothes.
But wasn't Bebe and Big Cal doing this shit too?
Yeah.
We was competing against each other. Bebe, Big Cal, and them was like from up there. We was down here. We was like the AGs, and we used to be competing with each other, man. We used to be, bro. I'm telling you, back then Crenshaw was a fashion show. We used to be stealing at the back of Crenshaw selling Louis Vuitton, Yves Saint Laurent jeans, Jordache jeans, Yves Saint Laurent jackets.
This is before the crack era.
Oh yeah, this was way before the crack era.
That's how y'all hustled before crack came in.
Before crack came in. That's when and I can't say that I ever did a jury bash or a jury lick.
Let me ask you about Bruce one more time. Bruce Richardson. When he was in high school, was he from a gang?
Not that I know of. No, we was the only ones really gang banging. Bruce wasn't from no gang, period. I can tell you that for
What
sure.
neighborhood did he grow up in?
In the Midlows, in the 6'5" Midlows. And I don't think Bruce really started identifying. Matter of fact, I know Bruce did not start identifying with a gang until he got money.
What gang was that?
And that was probably like the Midlows and the 6'5s. He daddy had his own gang. Like, them niggas was all on the same block. Like, we was the AGs. And that's how I would explain it. We was like the AGs. Like, we was the AGs in the 60s. Like, it's the 60s all surrounding us, but it's so many of us on the same block. We claimed that. But then we was still whatever it else it was. And that's how Bruce Richardson was. He was on his block, and it was enough of them who were younger than him and who was, who he could influence, and they was what.
You never heard about him being Brim associated?
Yeah, we heard that too. We heard that coming up because of where he was, where he lived. You know what I mean? And he probably grew up with a lot of them dudes who eventually became Brims, just like we did. We was on Arlington, on Slauson, on Slauson Arlington. Some of us went VNG, some of us went 60s, and so. And then you had that dude who maybe didn't bang nothing, was cool with both sides.
Genius Car Wash.
That was Bruce and them Car Wash.
Where was it at?
Right there on Crenshaw and 52nd. Crenshaw and 52nd. Yeah, that was on his. It was, and again too, man. Like, Bruce was a forward thinker, man. Bruce was like one of the first one of us to get a business. I even remember when BJ and Mark Layler got the phones on. I want to say that it wasn't until I got out of 1987 that when I got out of 1987 that BJ had opened up the phones on. Bruce Richardson had the car wash, and everybody had started opening up businesses, in and around our neighborhood. And I want to say 87. I want to say 1987. That's when I came out, because then I eventually went to Minnesota. And in BJ and them, because before 87, that would have been 87. Yeah, because BJ did the lick on the board on Lil Junior. I think his name from up north. He had a hitting for like. Some people say 800,000, some people say $1 million, $1.5 million, and I gotta tell you, man, that was the most money I had ever seen at one time. Like, we was hustling, and I hadn't went to Minnesota and started getting that kind of money yet because I hadn't been to Minnesota yet. I just got in March of 1987. So when BJ did that lick, I think we was just now starting. I just came home. We was just now finna start moving with Bo, and
How was he able to slide underneath him to get that amount from him?
oh man, I don't know how BJ did that. I guess BJ was telling him he had a plug and they was gonna come down and buy some work from him. And BJ just was crafty, man. That was BJ thing. BJ set you up and had you come get the bag. That's what I eventually went to prison for. And BJ had them come down. And I don't know if he had showed him some fake work or if he told him he had to work, but they get him. He get him right there on 11th Avenue and 11th Avenue between Vernon and 11th Avenue between Vernon and right there on Vernon. And I can't remember what street that is between Vernon and whatever, but it was on 11th Avenue by the high school. And I never forget it because it was him and the other little homie. They rest in peace. And the boy come up with the bag. He had a body bag full of money. And he come give it to Jay. Jay whip out on him. The boy go crazy because Jay done whipped out on him. And they get on. Make a long story short, before they went to do the lick, we was at BJ house on 48. So we all standing in front of BJ house. BJ like, man, I'm finna do this lick, man. I'm gonna look out for you, but you gotta promise me you ain't gonna trip on me. You ain't gonna take the rest of my shit. And I'm like, all right, yeah, all right. So while we standing there, Mays pull up. Mays pull up in the front in the parking lot. All them dudes ran in the house and locked the door. Me and Big J-Bone get stuck outside. They didn't lock the door. Mays and running BJ yard. So this was kind of like me and Mays having a standoff. And I'm like, my nigga, I ain't complying to nothing because I'm fresh out. I ain't got no warrants or nothing. So they telling them if they don't open the door and come outside, they going to take, J-Bone had warrants, they going to take J-Bone to jail. So we sitting there, they end up taking J-Bone to jail. And they take J-Bone to jail, they leave. I jump in the car and I roll off, right? And I'm on my cell phone. So Jay and them like, man, we finna leave because I ain't following me. So I'm just rolling. I roll back to the hood. I roll to my auntie house on Arlington. I roll on the block. I'm sitting on the block. I'm calling Jay and them on the phone. Jay and them said they going to go do the lick. He called and say he just did the lick. Now by the time they get through processing, they done did the lick. J-Bone is calling his bill is like $30,000. So I roll back. Jay said come back to the house. He gonna have something there for me. So I instead of going where I was finna originally go, I ended up going straight to J house, to BJ house. When I walk in the house, these niggas, first when I get to these niggas got the door barricaded. They don't want to let nobody in. I'm like, man, open this motherfucking door. So that's when I get on E. And I'm like, I get on him for not opening the door. I open the door, I come in. Man, this nigga got on the bed, bro, more money than I ever seen in my life. Nigga, my legs start shaking. I'm like, bro.
So this ain't no myth to you. You seen it, John.
Oh, no. This is not no myth at all, bro. This nigga got more money on his bed than I ever seen. He rolled off 30 bands and like, how much is J-Bone bail? And I'm like, 30,000. He like, give me 30,000. And I'm like, nigga, where mine's at? He gave me another 30. He said, when you leave and you come back, it's gonna be some more money here when you go get J-Bone. I rode a Southwest. Is that Southwest on King?
Yeah.
I rode a Southwest. Cash him out the whole. I go to the bail bond, Celeste King bond. I go to Celeste King bail. I get Celeste the whole 30 because now J-Bone will get the whole 30 back when the case is over. And Celeste go get him. I'm swing back. He said, give me about an hour and then go get him. I swing back by Jay house. Jay's sister give me some more cash. I'm like, damn. But when I walked in and seen all that money this nigga had, I was like, y'all niggas done fucked up. Y'all done robbed the wrong people. That's what I'm thinking like.
Was there any repercussions?
Yeah, because You know, we got the call. Niggas was calling like, man, we got a hit out on Jay. They want to put the money up. I'm like, well, put the money up.
These are Oakland dudes.
These are Oakland dudes,
What
yeah.
did they do to LA dudes?
Call and have somebody who was dumb enough to get paid and think they're going to get paid if they get the money back. Because that's what niggas always do. Niggas call you and tell me, hey, man, I got robbed, but if you get the money back, just give me half of it back. Give you half of it back? Wait a minute, you just got robbed. If I get it, I'm going to keep it all. What kind of system that make? So it was a lot of that going on back and forth between Jay and them. And then, shit, man, I mean, that was like a hell of a summer, bro. And I mean,
Was that big news in LA?
it was big news the whole of California. It wasn't just LA. That news was like amazing. Cause and I'm telling you, I hadn't at that point never seen that much money at one time. You know what I mean? Because you got to remember, when I left in '84, we was full on gangbanging. And I come home. When I go back in '85 and I get out in '87, it was like.
What did DJ do with that money?
Bro, I can tell you. I can tell you exactly what he did.
Over 60,000 of it went.
I got about 90. I got 30. I got J-Bone was 30. I was 30. Then I came back and got 60 more. And then I got more after that. But then you got to take care of certain homies was getting taken care of. A lot of homies who was involved. So you figure out all that. Then he went and bought he bought that Porsche. He bought a Porsche, a Vet. He bought a Bronco. Bronco T brought a Bronco. That's what you start calling Tino Bronco T. Off of that money, shit. I mean, niggas bought sacks, and we went to Minnesota, and it was like, but I didn't do the lick. You know what I'm saying? I just was coming in on you did a lick. You know what I mean? But I had actually nothing to do with it, so I really didn't have nothing coming off of it. It was all of they lick.
He was feeding the wolves, man.
He was feeding the wolves, man. And I heard that they was finna do something. I didn't even know. J-Bone knew and Lil Bam knew, but I didn't know. I wasn't in on like the inner works of it. I just heard like, you know, back then we would hear somebody got something going on, and so now we pulling up like, nigga, what's that? What's happening? Who finna eat?
Where was DJ from?
6046. I mean, the homies don't want to keep it 100, and because it was a bad situation. But he banged the hood. He fought for the hood. He pushed the line. It's like everybody else. It was like 60s was the biggest thing. We at that time before then we went from. I would say from Florence all the way to Vernon. All the homies we influenced all that. And we was all over in there. And it wasn't until I left it, you seen the rise and the growth of the 40s. That they was younger. You know what I mean? So anything that was going on was like us. Because even like where they really strong at, we used to call that the hook hood. And the catwalks and the 5-1s. On the other side of Western and in the 50s and in the 40s was like, we used to call that like the 5-1s and the hook hood. You know what I'm saying? So it wasn't really like, they was younger than us. And even the ones who was my age was still not like, you know what I mean? Snowman, some of them was Snowman and all them was like real riders and get down dudes. But the VNGs had so much of that area at that time. And then like when I came home, it was crazy because I had seen the 40s that went damn near from like Crenshaw all the way to the east side. And then they took all of what used to be the Hoovers. Because when we grew up, when they moved the swap meet from Western and what was that, Western and Manchester, right there close to there in the A-Trays and the surplus, and they went to by USC, Bell Sales went over there. That was all Hoovers. So when I came home in 2004 and the homies like, nah, that's the 40s, I was like, God.
That's the dark side now.
I was like, damn.
So when you was in high school at Crenshaw, 40s wasn't existing?
I don't want to say that they wasn't. I want to say that it wasn't, I don't want, because I hear people say they was.
All 40 hustlers.
Yeah, I don't want to say that they wasn't, but we was 60s. Like, it was really just us in the 30s.
Where'd you meet BJ at for the first time?
Damn, where did I meet BJ at for the first time? I can't tell you when I met BJ for the first time. Because we kind of like was young growing up. Like, probably just skate ring or wherever. I don't know. Like, BJ was older than us. Like, BJ was off the porch. We was gang banging. BJ was really getting money and doing other kind of shit. Like, you know, niggas can say what the fuck they want to about Jay. I'm going to give him his till he went bad. But the nigga was a real factor in the city for some years. He was getting money. He was a factor in it. Shit, Ice-T sung about the nigga in his own song. He was fucking with what's my name? My man name I just said about basketball when he was in the NBA. John Williams. That was John Williams' man. You know what I mean? Like, he had a whole era of the west side of LA, you know, that was to himself that you got to speak on. And BJ really was getting money, and he really was squabbling. Like, he had a immaculate squabble. Like, I don't care what nobody say. Ain't no lot of niggas for they whooped him. Now, it might have been some niggas who punked him because if you was a real rolling 60 and you going up against Jay and you was in his age bracket, of course he wasn't gonna try to, you know, because you got the whole hood can come against you. You know what I'm saying? And he didn't have that. But on some other shit, Jay had the means to. He had a squabble because we didn't been in the concerts. We didn't at Crenshaw. We didn't been like we had to go place and squabble with the Hoovers. Like in our fighting eras when we was growing up, going to the different concerts. That was us. Like
BJ was frontlining with the homies.
Definitely, without a doubt. When BJ, Vincent, Cal, all of us at Crenshaw, Jay was there. Without a doubt. But just the kids that we've been able to reach and keep on the path that didn't become gang members. Dan Henley's at Reno, Nevada. Derek is at Washington. We got Nigel at UCLA. We got Darius at Dixie State. And I get excited about it because there's so many people, there's so many kids. That I would be remiss to not name the ones, but I can name the ones that I directly coached in Pop Warner, you know, but bro, we got San Diego State full. We had at least 4 or 5 at UCLA. We had Utah, all over the Pac-12. If you look at this picture, you can see this is one of the very first food drives we did. This had to be about 2010, 2011 or something like that. Nah, this would have been earlier than that. Yeah, this might have been 2008. This might have been 2008 because we was on 43rd and Crenshaw. And this is the stuff that I tell you the city can't pay for. This truck right here cost us $15,000 to get this food truck. We was able to feed 400 families. It was the first time we started feeding kids and feeding kids and getting them. It was food trucks in there. It was food, candy, hygiene, cosmetic, and it was something that the whole hood came out to do.